All right. That was something by the band Sternatus from the album Blazebirth Hall. That has kind of slipped under the radar from all of these pre-orders and stuff that we've been doing. And we're going to look at that. Might actually get done soon. Might want to try to give that its due finally in the midst of all of the things that we're working on and all of the chaos. And this is the Winter Sauce Podcast. It is 4/27/2025. And this is a split off. This is the Far Right Special Needs Division Part 2. Part 1 will be on Odyssey and be a part of the full is a part of the full podcast on Odyssey because of the subject matter, or that people can go and download. And so this is part 2. I am Winter Solace, Cosmic Weapon of Thule, and let's see, got to go back to this now. To reiterate over the Black Vault here, or to put a bookend on this, I've started a Telegram chat called the 88th Chamber of Shaolin. Here is the link: telegram.wintersolace.chat. I mean, you can go to the Winter Solace Telegram channel. You can see the pinned post there. And I would prefer that anybody who wants to communicate with me in that type of setting, and I find this to be an alternative to a web forum, to join this, because we started this, and I'll wake up with it some mornings, and there's more correspondence in there than I can even read. And it's more of the type of environment that I wanted to envision, where it's just people with a similar ideology, but from a more reasoned and sedate perspective. Just coming together to discuss music and hang out, and older people being able to, kind of offer advice to younger people and have a more mentoring and a positive space, and everything else. I moderate it. There's no online negativity. That's all done. Idiot Man is retired. I am not a gangster. I hated being that. I legitimately hated acting like that way. Anyway, so that's that, and hopefully, as I said, I can be myself in here and not have any of this that we've had to deal with through the years, and should have done this years ago. Much happier. So that's that, and everybody who has access should make one of these, and you can share stuff in there and everything. It's a really interesting environment in a space. Now, the first segment was part 1 of the Far Right Special Needs Division, and this is a concept that I've been talking about for years in some capacity, and that kind of went off on a tangent, and we discussed that, and we've done that. But this is the other half of this, because there's the Far Right Special Needs Division. There's 2 kind of areas in it. The first area, I discussed that already. This is the second area, and this one is new. I haven't talked about this before, but it just kind of came to me in a vision, based off of, what happened to me and stuff. And people are starting to talk about this. Okay. And people who don't live in right-wing culture, you will find some examples of this potentially in other things, but it's not the same. Okay? And that's the woke political right. Jerusalem Post, diving into the wokeness of the political right opinion. The Western way of life is under threat. Liberal democracy is threatened by the undermining of trust in institutions and its history. Some historians are weighing in on hateful drivel served up by Tucker Carlson, along with his latest controversial guest, Daryl Cooper. And the reason this is the Jerusalem Post, and the reason that they're singling him out is he brought out, either this guy, I don't remember when this was written, or Jerry Sachs, some Sachs guy that he interviewed twice, that had a very, very critical opinion about Israel, and talked about the USS Liberty and stuff. Who, by revealing the so-called hidden truth of history, frames Cooper, podcaster and subsector, not only is worthy, but somehow courageous, because he swims against the norms of the post-World War II Western order, as if the belief that Churchill was the hero of the Second World War is a neo-Marxist postmodern narrative perpetuated to deny the true events of World War II. The irony of postmodern ultra-critical thinking is now being employed by the right to to scuttle some of our most sacred historic truths should not be lost, as this has largely been a product of the left up until now. And now people can go, why are you reading from the Jerusalem Post? This is completely biased. You know what that is. It's Israel. Okay. I'm not talking about any of the events that Israel would be critical of. Israel is just a way for me to illustrate this, because this is what talked about. And this is more, what they refer to as anti-history and all of the other things. And this is where the Western life is of life is under threat. Liberal democracy is threatened by the undermining of trust in its institutions and its history. And they say it's incumbent upon us to put a defense up. Part of the solution must be provided at the state level, and this is where they advocate for regulation of speech. Now, and of course, the guy who wrote this is the founding partner of Gold Rock Capital, Zionist researcher, all of these things, globalist, all those groups. Another way to look at this is the truth about the woke right. Its definition has always been fluid. This is from Unheard, and I think this is probably some leftist SJW publication. But they can be right about some things. And I'm going to just kind of explain what I mean about this. And I'm not going to read this entire thing. Okay? The feminist writer Audre Lorde has famously observed that the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. She was wrong, though. Sometimes it's appropriating the master's tools can come in very handy. Already accustomed to the sound of falling masonry, onlookers may even notice who now wields the sledgehammer. In recent days, commentator James Lindsay has been on various podcasts claiming that the right has been nicking the master's tools, or at least their makeup brushes. In other words, the right has gone woke, canceling their enemies, obsessed with identity politics, and conjuring hidden structural forces responsible for oppressing them. Attempting to prove this point, he has also revealed that last month that he duped conservative Christian website American Reformer into publishing an amended section of the Communist Manifesto, and all of this. And this is the point that I wanted to get at. What they're talking about is the other half of the far-right special needs division. Okay. I don't even know how to work Word. Okay. Far-right Special Needs Division, Part 2. The woke right. And this is more threatening than what you have to deal with Part 1 of the Special Needs Division. And that, for the people who watch these for the entertainment value, if you haven't gone and that you will find that very entertaining. But this is what I went up against, and I was trapped in this for, I'm going to say, 17 years, 15 years, I don't know. But you have to understand what I was trapped in, because it's not a conspiracy. There's not people setting out to do this. It's just something that has metastasized. And that's the woke right. Okay? And in addendum to this, this is especially dangerous because most of the right-wing political discussion and everything else happens online. And that is this notion that if you do not conform to a specific opinion or specific thought process, and you dare to have individualistic thoughts and a different, unorthodox way of doing this, people who don't understand or aren't ready for other people's opinions or to believe that people aren't necessarily cookie cutter, and they can't process this. And on top of that, when they brush up against it, they feel threatened and then attack it rather than trying to understand it, and they take it personally and take it as a threat, actually. And these are the people who, they don't realize they're doing this. They use these ideologies and everything else as a crutch. Okay? And you find this in any type of political subject, any type of political discourse, anything. It's not about whatever they're talking about. It's the fact that they're talking about something. Because that gives a purpose for their own narcissism, and you find this a lot on the internet. And this is part of why social media killed online forums, because, like I said, with the Telegram chat, we can kind of get rid of that. We can just kind of get rid of that. That's forums dead. Differences in communication and discussion are taking over. Dark side of online communities. Narcissists can, and this is what I was getting at, narcissists can groom online communities by presenting a false persona that's charming, attractive, and confident. They may use fake pictures or create a persona that is different from their real personality. Or people can even get in an avatar of someone that they're completely not. Okay? Once they have gained the trust of the community, they can start to manipulate and control the members of the community. They may also try to isolate members from their real-life support systems, such as family and friends, so that they become more dependent on the narcissist and validation for support. Once the narcissist has established a foothold in the community, they can start to use it as a source of narcissistic supply. They may post pictures and updates, showcase their accomplishments to seek out compliments and validate others. They may also use the community to create drama and conflict, which they can then use to manipulate others and gain attention. This, right here, what I have highlighted here, is what happened to me. There's no online conspiracy. Nothing of the sort. I just fell victim to this woke that isn't woke right. Okay? And that's why all these groups are a problem for people who live digitally. Narcissism, problematic social media use, are you a digital narcissist? Narcissists are prone to internet trolling, but not so much if their self-esteem is high. Any other people will be listening to this go, well, that's you to a nutshell. No, it's not. You don't understand me. Nobody understands what I've been. Nobody like that or who would think that actually understands me. And you're starting to see this a lot in the right in general. Because many of these people have been on the extreme fringes forever. Now that many of these ideologies and everything else are kind of taking proper, are allowed to exist without the same type of persecution. All of a sudden, these people get a taste of what it means like to be accepted in the real world. And it changes them. Okay? And you're starting to see that hijacking the far right, because it's very, very prone to political divisions, specifically over Israel. And if the Zionist right wants to be able to survive, then they need to find a way to build a bridge to all of the anti-Israel people. But, you supported this, you did this thing, or whatever. And it's just lack of critical thinking. Lack of critical thought, lack of critical processing. And this is the other half of the equation. Because as I said in the first video, part 1, you have the mentally ill people in the far-right special needs division. Okay. And then you have the people on the other half of then you have the other extreme where you have these people that do not unconsciously they don't believe in whatever they're talking about. They just use it to perpetually stir the pot and then accuse other people of doing all that because they're addicted to drama. And that ideology and that advancement keeps them going because these people have never been able to go out and build anything substantial. Because that is hard work. To do anything like that is hard. And not everybody is capable of doing that, and they can't realize it. See, a long time ago, I just surrendered to the Creator, man. A long time ago. We are an instrument to do His will. And to put that message out there and to help people and bring about spiritual healing and all of that. Through common sense. And just down-to-earth perspective. We're just living in reality. Just living in the fake matrix. The fake pseudo-reality. That's all we're doing. Just trying to get to the next day. Okay? Because there's within time where you just sit and, like Debbie talked about this. And it's been years since I've read that. But the concepts are the same. There's people who are within time. These are the people who cannot be unplugged from the Matrix, okay? If you are within time, you cannot be unplugged. Time is the enemy. Okay? If you are against time, you cannot be unplugged. Or I should say, you won't be unplugged. Because you don't want to. You realize that this is the only go around you're going to get. That you can process, that you can get. When you die, you end. You're not going to wake up in some other body and be consciously aware of it. And be in touch with your past lives and everything else. You're not going to do that. You are forever stuck in the cycle. And you know that. You are conscious of that fact. But what you have in front of you and what you have been given is not enough. So you go against time. You won't be unplugged from the Matrix because you don't want to be. You want to keep fighting the world. You want to keep fighting everything for nothing. In the end, you get a Pyrrhic victory. At best. These are all the people who are so successful, they're just miserable. It's like, you have $1 million, bro, but all the bitches in the world can't make you feel better. Alright. You got nothing. You got all that money, but got nothing. Okay? That never was me. That's why we were doing that, and it wasn't working out. And I became a joke because of it. And everyone laughing at me all over the place, and everything else. And then because I couldn't realize it, the Creator took it all away from me. Okay? That's what happens. You either keep fighting, you win some Pyrrhic victory that's worthless, completely useless, just disgrace, or you get it all taken away from you. Because He has other plans for you men. Okay? The Creator has other plans for some people. And that's why if you are above time, you will be unplugged. Mashallah, inshallah, mashallah, inshallah. Count on to something. Creator wills it, Creator can take it away. If it is in His plan, it'll happen. Okay? Because Debbie talked about this. You're either within time where you're just you cannot be unplugged. You just consistently just consume and you just live a simple life. And These people are the lucky ones. These are the people who are not burdened with advanced knowledge. And against time, where you just want to stay in that cycle, and it never ends, or you are above time and you ascend, and you just go off and do what you need to do.